God bless you, and I hope you had a really good Christmas in spite of all the lockdowns. Hey, I'm standing in front of my house here. Here's my scene of the kings and shepherds and baby Jesus and everything there. And I was thinking of this, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Throughout history, in the Bible, in the modern times, when crises have overtaken the world or a country, if the ruler, the king, or a prime minister or a president would call the nation to prayer, a day of prayer, maybe fasting, humbling before God and seeking his face for deliverance, the Lord would answer. And my question is there a prime minister or a president or a king out there who is calling on the Lord and has called their nation to humble themselves and take a day aside for prayer and fasting and seeking the favor of God for deliverance from this pandemic? You know, a lot of times I've already said over and over again, I think this pandemic is God's pandemic. It has the function of exposing the hearts of people. The wicked, you see the wickedness coming out more and more. And even in us as Christians, where's our heart set? Is it worry? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it finger pointing? Injustice, we're crying, my rights? Or are we humbling ourselves and getting to God? I think that's part of what God's agenda is in this. And certainly if God's in back of it, and you know, in the Bible again and again, God sends enemies to get his people to humble themselves and pray. That's the story of the Bible over and over again. If God's in back of this, the deliverance is going to come as there's a humbling with God. And you think about nations, during the beginnings of the Second World War, 285,000 troops of the United Kingdom were trapped in northern France. King George called for a day of prayer and fasting, seeking the favor of God. And right after that, the miracle of Dunkirk took place. And you know that miracle when fog moved in and thousands of little boats and fishing boats went across over to northern France, rescued but the 280,000 troops. The Germans couldn't get at them. And it's called the miracle at Dunkirk. And it was a miracle. And he actually called for prayer, a day of prayer set aside to humble themselves and seek God 7 times during the Second World War. Is there a king, a president, a prime minister who will right now call on the Lord and publicly proclaim a day of prayer for deliverance from this coronavirus? I think this is where it has to go. It has to go there. And if you have any kind of influence, any place, any urging, write to the premier, write to the prime minister, do something. This is what the Lord requires. I had a vision in the spring during the start of the coronavirus, and I saw the globe shrouded in a mist that was the coronavirus, a cloud, and then the Lord went, and it blew away. At that time, I interpreted this vision. The vision's God, but I interpreted it to mean, oh, it's going to go away soon. I was wrong about that. You got the revelation and the interpretation, which was mine. Now I'm thinking what God was saying is, I can blow this away anytime I want if the nations will seek me. And the desire is that he would be glorified. His name would be glorified in the earth. So I don't know if this will be seen by any kind of leader. But if it is, you could call a day of prayer in your jurisdiction, your city, your province, your country, prayer and humbling before God, seeking God for deliverance. I hope that you do. God bless you guys.